Welcome to another video. The Reunion Day event just came out a few days ago, and I wanted to go over all of the tips and advice I have for the event to get the most out of it and get everything done as quick as possible to help yourself out a little bit. So let's run down through a little bit on what the event is and how to get through it. So if you're starting off for the first time, you'll receive a quest to come talk to Pandora, who is right over here in Haven. You'll find her on this area of the map in the bazaar. And after you have a little conversation with her, she'll basically guide you towards the events tab. And this is where pretty much the entire activity can be found and where you'll spend most of your time, whether it's claiming rewards, exchanging stuff, or turning in all of the resources you'll be gathering. So the whole point of the event is to go out, kill things, and collect the materials that they drop. There's 4 different resources that you can acquire that you will then turn in to different characters within this menu to receive condors, origami condors, that you can then exchange for rewards and other great fantastic things. But how do you go about acquiring all of these resources? So these are the 4 different resources you'll find. The basic ones are I'm gonna pronounce these wrong, I'm sorry. The coronal oil residue, vortical yeast, and the isoelectric oats. So these are each tied to an element. There is the arc one, the isoelectric oats, the solar one, the coronal oil residue, and the void one, the vortical yeast. Now, you can collect 25 of these per day, and the areas that you can grab these from are either Gauntlet Blitz or in any sort of destination, so Jiangxi Metro or Red Sea Rift. I'll go over what I believe are the best ways to acquire all these materials after I talk about the last one, so let's go talk about that. The last one you have here is the Decayed Chitin. Someone made fun of me for how I'm saying that. I'm sorry. That's how it looks. It looks like the word chitin. I don't know what to say. Anyways, you can acquire these from Legendary Campaign, Realm of the Nine, Gauntlet Onslaught, and I believe also Gauntlet Blitz. I can't read this because it doesn't show all of them, but these are the sources. I'm going to recommend Legendary Campaign. I'll go over why in a minute, but you can only acquire 3 of these per day. And it makes sense because you'll only have one extreme order, which will require the chitin, and it will ask you for 3. Every single day you'll be able to grab 3 and then turn those in for your big reward. The big reward will net you 100 origami condors and then some extra resources on top of that, and then you have your smaller orders that will just take the lesser resources that are easier to get, and they'll only give you 50 condors, and you can do 5 of these orders per day. So you want to make sure you're doing your big order for 100 and then your other 4 orders of the small ones for 50, netting you a total of 300 origami condors per day. So the material that I'm lacking the most of right now is the coronal oil residue, which requires solar final blows and Gauntlet Blitz or Destination Exploration. Destination Exploration is your best bet. Gauntlet Blitz is nice if you are trying to grind out some of the new mythic weapons and you're playing it anyways. But I find if you're just trying to get these 25 drops out of the way, Destination Exploration is your best bet. And that's just because there's a ton of ads in here that are easy to kill, and there's plenty of ways to go about doing that. My first recommendation would be to come to the commission person for either Jiangxi Metro or Red Sea Rift and accept your commissions for the day and go out and do those. Mostly just because these are things that you should be doing anyways. And on top of that, the ads that spawn from these are dedicated to you. So even if there's someone else in the area and they walk by, they can't kill and steal your ads. These are all enemies that you'll specifically be able to kill, and you won't have to worry about someone else coming around, stealing your kills and stealing your possible chances for drops. So when you kill enemies, they will drop these little these little gifts, and when you pick them up, you'll get yourself some coronal oil residue or whatever ingredient is from the element that you are using. Keep in mind that you can only get 25 of these per day, and enemies aren't always guaranteed to drop them. I have noticed at times that sometimes the game seems to glitch out and enemies will stop dropping ingredients before you even hit that 25 threshold. That's why I recommend keeping a tab on how many you've collected in a day. What I like to do is I like to go, okay, so today I have 6 at the start of the day. That means that if I collect 25, I'll have 31 at the end of the day. There is a little notification that pops up when you collect all of the possible residue for the day. It'll pop up stating, hey, you've collected all 25 residue for the day. You can't get any more. I have noticed, though, that that pop-up also tends to not show up sometimes. It can be very finicky. So it is best to just kind of keep track of your own numbers and make sure that you know how many you've collected and you're grabbing as many as you can for the day. Honestly, I'm not even too worried about it. I'm pretty much only just grabbing the amount that I need for the day and then just moving on from there. Now, as I was saying, I was running around Red Sea Rift doing my commissions for the day, and basically all of the enemies stopped dropping presents. Like I said, sometimes it tends to glitch and you can kill like 20 plus dudes and not a single one will drop a present. So what I did, I left Red Sea Rift, teleported to Jiangxi Metro, and like the first 2 enemies I killed started dropping presents again. So if you notice that you've killed like a massive amount of people and you still haven't hit that 25 threshold quite yet, just try leaving whatever area you're in, go to the other area, and start killing things, and hopefully stuff will start dropping presents once again. Now, there are a lot of people recommending a great way to get more presents fast, and that is doing your frontline activities. You'll get some great reputation from it, you'll get some good rewards at the end of it as well, and there's always just an onslaught of enemies coming towards you. The issue with this is that there has been so many people recommending that this is the way that you should grind enemies that it has become just a massive onslaught of players sometimes, where it becomes almost impossible to kill stuff because there'll be like, like 5, 6, sometimes even 10 players in an area just melting ads, and you won't even be able to like kill anything to get the loot that you want to get, which is a bummer. So if you notice you've entered into an area, or basically every time you enter into I'm trying to kill stuff and this guy is just taking all the kills. If you notice that you've entered into a frontlines activity and there's just too many players around taking all the kills, or you're having trouble like keeping up with the players around you who are melting everything, the other recommendation I have is to basically just enter another area, preferably one that you're familiar with. I know Aeronautic Campus pretty well. That's not the Frontlines activity. And anywhere that's not a Frontlines activity, regular ads will just spawn in their normal locations. So if I were to come here, I can just do my normal loop of ads that I see, and there'll usually be not really many people around dealing with any of these enemies, and they respawn pretty frequently. So I can just do a loop of the map, kill things, grab the loot I need, and I find this is pretty much an easier way. This is how I've been doing it mostly. I finish my commissions for the day, and then I'll just go to an area that I'm kind of familiar with. I know where the enemies are, and I'll just run laps around a few times, and I'll get all of my drops that I'm required. So I actually went back, and I'll show this like right now while I'm talking. I actually found the footage that showed I had 5 of these materials when I started grinding. I'm at 30 now, so I've gotten my 25 for the day, and I didn't get the pop-up at all that stated, hey, you've collected your 25 for the day. I was just running around killing things when I didn't have to. So again, try to keep an eye on this, pay attention to it, or literally just, you don't even have to get the 25 for the day. If you want to just get enough for whatever your requirements are, like this says I need 6, this says I need 3 and 3, this says I need 12. If you want to grab enough to just finish the orders you need for the day, you're more than welcome to do that, because you can do that as well. There's refreshes available, so if you get like a bunch of solar orders in a row and you can't complete them all, you can actually just refresh it, get rid of it, and get a new one. You get 3 refreshes per day. Just make sure to not refresh the big one, just in case something weird happens and it goes away and you don't get another big one afterwards. So we ran into a little problem here. I paused my recording, and then I forgot to hit play or record again, so we're missing some things. Mostly I turned in my materials, and I can't show you now what that looks like, but I required all of my arc materials and all my void and all my solar materials. Again, none of the notifications that I had grabbed 25 materials popped up. I know it exists, I've seen it in the past, but it seems to be glitched and not showing up pretty much 80% of the time for me. But once you've collected all of those, you can now move on to our Chitin resources. Those can be acquired by killing Sheikahs. So pretty much anywhere in the game that you can encounter a Sheikah is a spot that you can acquire these. So if there's somewhere that you want to do stuff, like for whatever resources you want to go, and they have Sheikahs in there, all the better. My personal preference is Legendary Campaign. I find it is the fastest activity to go through, and on top of that, you'll be getting exotic weapon infusion cores and a chance at a superposed photon as well if you get extremely lucky, like I just did when I wasn't recording. Great. All right, so let's go through here. So with your legendary campaign, most of you already probably know you have 4 choices. It just comes down to selecting whichever one matches your character that you're most comfortable with, especially if you have lower level characters. Make sure you're playing on heroic, because the Sheikahs will appear in both heroic and challenge. You don't need to overextend yourself. You can just play a heroic at 44,000 light and choose whatever you want. If you have a good wolf or whatever, you can run this one because it'll have the explosive Sheikahs. The elements won't matter because they don't exist in the heroic ones. So whatever character you have the best of, just run that one. Personally, I find Forgotten Bounty is extremely fast. Even with impact, while I'm using Ningfei, I can complete it in about like 2 minutes, a little bit less than maybe 3 minutes. So let's run through this as quick as I can with my Ningfei, and I'll show you exactly how quickly you can get this done. So unlike the other resources, the Chitin will drop from Sheikahs as a pretty much, it's always been guaranteed for me. I have never killed a Sheikah and had it not drop Chitin for me. Obviously it won't drop this time because, like I said, I forgot to record. But my last run through of this legendary campaign mission, every single Sheikah I killed, all 3 of them, dropped a resource for me. I didn't miss any, so keep that in mind. You won't really have to worry about multiple run-throughs. You should get your resources every time you kill a Sheikah. And here it is. This is the last Sheikah in the activity. There you go. About 1 minute and 30 seconds to get all 3 resources. That would be the last Sheikah I need to kill. And you can just leave the activity there if that's all you want. If you're just looking to get the resources from the Sheikahs, you can get the 3 and then leave the activity. It takes about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Pretty easy. But you're close to the end of the activity. Might as well make your way through the rest of it and get yourself some resources with your pinnacle energy. So once you've acquired all your resources for the day, you can come back to the event banner and go over to your reunion bakery. And if I wasn't a dummy and forgot to record, all of my things would be here. I could turn in my ingredients and I would get my origami condors for the day. You'd get your 100 from the main one, and then you would get your rest from the mini ones, netting you a total of 300 condors for the day. Now, what do we get loot-wise from this activity? Well, you get a festival contribution. So the amount of origami condors you acquire will increase your personal progress bar, and the higher you get it, the more rewards you'll be able to acquire. There's also a pack progression, so if you're part of a pack, your pack can work together to increase this bar, which fills up pretty easily. My pack actually completed this whole bar in 2 days, which is pretty insane. So it's not too difficult to actually finish this off very quickly. The weird thing is that the pack rewards are tied to your personal rewards. So say like me, my pack is completely finished already. I can't claim these until I've actually reached the corresponding personal reward. So I can't claim these 5 incandescent sheaves until I've also reached the mark to claim this incandescent cluster. And there's some great rewards here. There's 5 incandescent clusters to be grabbed. There's plenty of undefined incandescent sheaves. And then there's also a sweet animated emblem that you can get, which is pretty damn cool. So you can get, to hit this 4,200 mark, it would take 14 days getting all of your origami condors, all 300 of them. 14 days, kind of. I'll go over that in a minute. But when this video goes up, there will be 14 days left, hence why I wanted to get this video out by today. You'll be able to, if you start today, actually get all of this loot just through the baking event and the resource gathering event and getting the origami condors from those. Now, the reason I said that in quotation marks is because in a day and 1 hour, we also get the fishing event, which I'm guessing is going to be another event. It is tied to the reunion day. Obviously, it's part of it. And my guesses will be it'll have you go out, catch specific fish, and turn them in for even more origami condors every day, allowing you to progress through the bar even faster. So keep that in mind. You might have more than 14 days. You might be able to even progress even further once this special catches event starts. Now, what exactly do you do with these origami condors besides use them for your individual progression and your pack progression? Well, there's an exchange shop with plenty of great goodies in here. We have artifactual choice chest, artifactual clusters, 20 elemental fruit choice chest, 60 artifactual essences. We have some of the dumb stuff that people don't care about, like decals and enhancement prisms and food for a little bit of a 8% buff for specific elements. We also have chat emblems and more importantly, 2 permanent banner draws and a Reunion Day theme, which I thought was really cool. It was actually the first thing I grabbed. And this makes it so you can change how your profile looks. So if you come to my profile, you'll be able to see I have this little banner here and these this cool little symbol down here. And if you were to go this little helmet and gear icon, you can change your theme settings. So if you go to the default one, you'll notice all of that stuff disappears. And if I go back to Reunion Day, bam, it's there. And it looks pretty damn cool. I like it. It's a cool new addition to the game. Especially, it's a nice little reward for special events. Hopefully we get one for the Christmas event coming up. And that pretty much covers everything. It covers how to get the loot, the best ways to get the loot, and whether it's the fastest way or just a way to make your life a little bit less enraging when having to deal with other players. So hopefully any of this information helped you in any sort of way that you might have not already known. Hopefully this helped some people. That's my hope. Let me know down below what you think of the rewards and the activity itself. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's a great like little mini event before we get the hopefully much bigger event with the Christmas event coming up. It sounds like we're getting an actual activity with the Christmas event, so I feel like this is kind of like a mini event as the lead up to the big Christmas event. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you like the rewards, if you're having a good time with them. Like I said, I'm having a good time. And you know what? While you're down there, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. And I'm stuttering. I'm hoping you're having a super Nova day.